Wait a minute. There we go.
That was a little editorial comment.
Oh, yes, I like that. What is your mission statement? Do y'all have an official mission statement?
Our goal is to grow grapes, produce quality wines, and be an event site of choice, and be an asset to the community. That's what I have in our notebook at the bar.
What would you guys consider to have been your greatest success? Because you said this was a higher scale than
7 years.
That you survived. All right, well
We're
that's.
still here.
What do you find as your greatest challenges then?
Well, I think it's just growing the business and finding ways to advertise that are affordable. We have been blessed with very good staff. That's been a plus.
Yeah, I do a lot of the administrative work, and the greatest challenge I have is the tremendous government oversight and the bureaucracies, both on the state and federal level, that really make it very difficult.
Right,
All kinds of forms have to be filled out all the time,
and that was another question I was going to ask, because Cleveland County for a long time was a completely dry
Yes,
county.
when we moved here, it was.
And what did you do?
parts of it are still dry. In fact,
Right,
most-
Bowling Springs,
yeah, most of
we're
it is still
still.
dry.
I'm sorry, you just have to come here.
You just, all right. But that was actually one of my questions because of the dry county thing. Now, do you guys ship, or is it all coming here, or do you actually ship out to other places?
We are exploring that possibility. We haven't shipped yet.
Well, like,
And
it's
if we
difficult,
do,
yeah.
I have talked to people at FedEx, and if we did do that, we would start with in-state first, and then explore further if we thought it would be lucrative. But there are restrictions to shipping out of state.
Yeah, it's
Some
difficult.
states, there are certain requirements you have to fulfill.
Well,
and-
each state requires a permit, and that's usually, and the expense can be small or it can be huge. So each state has their own little,
You have to have a different permit for
that's it,
every.
you have to have a different permit for every state, and you got an annual fee, and then you gotta fill out forms, and it's just an ongoing bureaucracy that states and the federal government love to develop.
Okay. Not for
That's
the
the-
little,
that's the
not for the
challenge.
little business then.
Yeah.
It makes it very hard
Sorry,
to
yeah.
operate a small business efficiently
Mhm.
when you have all these obstacles and time you have to spend on things that don't look like they amount to adult things.
Right. What are the changes y'all seen over the years that you have been here? Changes in anything, in the economy and just in anything.
Well, different businesses open up. We have had to look at the kinds of things we do in light of what other social facilities are doing in order to remain competitive and be viable. We used to stay open late on Friday nights, and we would have live music, and we stopped that Labor Day because
Okay.
our crowds had fallen off for some time, and we realized that there were a lot of other things going on in downtown Shelby. We've had a little bit of a revitalization downtown, and there's street musicians and various things happening that we can't all draw the same people, and out here, we're more of a destination. I mean, people have to want to come out here.
Right, but that's what I was gonna ask you, how
Yeah,
many,
right.
do you
There
know
are
how
other
much,
things,
do you know
yes.
how much business you have that's repeating, or is a lot of it a one-time thing, people coming through?
Well, I think
Yeah,
travelers,
yeah.
sometimes it's a one-time, but we have a pretty good core of loyal customers, and they support us well. We've had weddings here for people from Charlotte who've come over here and just liked what they saw, and found it to be less expensive than a wedding in the big city.
Mhm.
And we're very happy with what we could offer.
Okay.
So you do have to reinvent every so often in a business. You can't assume that it's always going to be the way it was. You have to.
I like the word reinvent. Can
I
you
do
kind of
too.
elaborate on that a little bit?
That's right,
Reinvent.
Well,
Come up with
you
new
can
ideas.
go along and be doing something that works well, and then it doesn't seem to be working as well. Or in our case, when the crowds fell off on Friday night, We watched that for the better part of a year, and we said, this isn't gonna change, maybe this has run its course, and we need to look at something else. So we're now having, we'll have some entertainment on some weekend days here at the winery. I mean, we started out outside today, then we had that rain, so everyone moved inside. But we're looking for things that other places are not doing, and probably focus on afternoons and save our evenings for private events.
I noticed how well, whether it was family or staff outside the family in there just seemed to really
Oh, they're
mesh.
wonderful.
Yeah.
So how did you find that? I mean,
Well, it's just.
We are blessed beyond measure with the people that work here.
did you look for certain characteristics or it
People
just?
just appeared,
Yeah,
and
they
yeah,
just
I look
left.
for certain
Yeah, we knew
characteristics.
certain people interested in it, and the word just got around, and.
Or people have called us or come in and said, you know, I'm interested in some part-time work. And we talk to them and just have a conversation before we decide, because I'm looking for friendly people.
You need friendly people behind the bar, hospitality oriented.
And,
Yes,
pe-
sir.
and people who
Oh,
wanted to,
excuse me, I'm gonna.
thank you
Yeah,
for
okay,
your
gotcha,
time.
Okay.
And it was people that wanted to be here, it sounded like, that they were behind your philosophy or
Well,
your
I had
mission.
a young, one of my newer employees came as a guest to a wedding. And while she was here, she came over and introduced herself, and she said, I would love to work here. I think this place is beautiful, and can I call you? And I said, sure. And she came out one afternoon, and we just sat on the patio and talked, not so much about a job, but I wanted to get to know her a little bit, because we need people here who are very social, who can talk to people. This is a hospitality business. And I can't have long faces behind the bar. I can't have droopy people around here. I mean, we have to have people that have some life and some energy, and she impressed me as being someone who did, and she's done a fabulous job. I mean, she's learning about wine. She's not super knowledgeable about wine yet, but she has the personality to do it, and she wants to learn, and that's what I need.
So your employees, you do teach them about the wine?
Well, we do, yeah, because we have to have people who can make people feel at home and who can answer questions. And, you know, if you're selling a product, you have to know something about it.
Well, we just have one more question for you, because we did hear that you were interested in selling.
Yes.
And what's come to that decision?
Because we are ready to talk serious retirement
Okay.
from this and from our day jobs as well.
And what are your day jobs?
Well, my husband's practicing full-time ophthalmology with Morgan Tenai. That's where the owl's eye, you know, the owl has very sharp vision.
Okay,
that's
I see where that
there.
comes from, yes.
And he's not ready to walk out the door, but he's ready to start, you know, serious planning. And I am a registered dietitian and diabetes educator at the hospital. So we do this part-time and our day jobs the rest of the time. And we feel that Owl's Eye is at a point where it needs full-time. I mean, we have built it to this point, but it needs to be open more days a week. It needs full-time management, and we're just not the people to do that.
And your children aren't living in it?
They are not. We have thrown out that possibility, but they are not interested, and the girls are settled where they are, and their husbands are settled, and they're just not. And we're not going to force it on them. That's not smart.
That's not right.
So we are just, we have listed it with a national firm that specializes in larger tracts of land and with and without businesses on them. And we're telling people that we think might have some contacts and might know somebody, and I'm confident someone will come along that wants to buy an established business, or someone wants to get out of the frozen north and come down here and have better weather.
Yes, absolutely.
So we're advertising in some publications up north and areas where I think there might be people that would be interested. I mean, I would love it to be someone local who would live here and be part of the community. That would be my dream. And we're not moving, so we'll be available to help people transition. But we absolutely are ready to sell.
Well, thank you so much. We do
You're
really, really
welcome.
appreciate your time. Now we're gonna go in here and we're gonna.
Take some wine.
Yes, we are. We're gonna check out
Absolutely.
the services in there, so
Yeah.
thank you so
Yeah,
very
you're welcome.
much.
Yeah.